Tottenham have appointed Ange Postecoglou as head coach on a 4-year contract. He'll become the first Australian to manage in the Premier League, and he succeeds Antonio Conte 72 days after he was sacked. Let's speak live now to the former Spurs defender Michael Dawson. Very good morning to you, and you have a smile on your face, and why not? It's taken quite a while to make this appointment. How happy are you?
Good morning, Rob. Yeah, I mean, look, very, very happy to get Ange Postecoglou in the door, and he can start work straight away, because that's something he does and does very well. His recruitment, his desire, his commitment. And I tell you what, he went into Celtic when probably people questioned working in Australia, working in Japan. What was he going to be like up in Scotland? Well, he took it by storm. He really, really did. And you know, he's got the recognition, and now he's got his chance in the big time, as you can say, the Premier League. I always say it's the best league in the world, in my opinion. And now he's gone to a great football club, and he's going to have to start work very, very quickly and trying to get that Tottenham team back to where they were a few years ago, because it was a disappointing season in the end.
Yeah, where they were a few years ago. Since, though, Michael, they've had some big names as managers, haven't they? Mourinho, Conte, optimism when they were appointed, and it didn't work. So why is this one going to be different?
Well, I think you've got to look back, Rob, to probably 2014 when Mauricio Pochettino came in. Pochettino had one good season at Southampton, got Southampton finishing 8th. Yes, he'd done well in Spain and Espanyol. I think this is a very similar appointment. And you know, you've been down the Jose, you've been down the Antonio Conte route that's experienced, won everything everywhere, and it hasn't worked. So you're probably going to somewhere like Mauricio Pochettino. Untried, really, and definitely untrusted. I mean, look, I've spoke about what Ange Postecoglou did at Celtic was remarkable. But this is a different level up, in my opinion. You know, you look how hard the Premier League is. You look at the size of the football clubs. You're competing with an awful lot more teams than what he was doing up in at Celtic, with only them and Rangers, who really had a chance of probably winning the league. Completely different in the Premier League. But good luck to him. I mean, look, he plays attacking football, which the Spurs fans want to see, and they haven't seen that for a long, long time. I mean, they've got some of the best attackers in the world, in my opinion. When with Son this year, we haven't seen the best of him. Harry Kane, 30 goals, is a genius and will score in whatever football team he's put in. Kulusevski. But I think you've got to look what Postecoglou does. His recruitment when he went to Celtic was incredible. And he's got the way he plays in the 4-3-3 system. Full-backs going inside at times. I think this is going to be different. The Premier League, you can get hurt if you play like that, because so many teams can isolate that position if the full-back do step in. And you know, I've Spurs got the defenders to defend in a 1v1 situation. Only time will tell. But Ange Postecoglou, he will want to get working. He'll want to start, and he'll want to recruit and bring his own players, his staff in. And as I say, hopefully he can hit the ground running and have a good season, because it ended in a disappointing way. But I look back to probably 2014 when Mauricio Pochettino came in. I was at the club at the time. We'd finished the 6th that season. Tim Sherwood had took over for the interim time. And I just look back, it seems very, very familiar for where the football club's at, in probably the situation of the team, not in the Champions League, where obviously we know there's so many teams want to be.
There's so many things you've said there, Michael. My head is spinning. I don't know which one to pick up on first.
I do that, Rob.
No, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Let's pick up on the Postecoglou, because I think it's fair to say they had the opportunity to go back in for Mauricio Pochettino. Why didn't they? And why is Postecoglou an upgrade on the person that you were so excited when he was appointed when you were there?
Yeah, I mean, look, what he did from 2014 to 2019, semi-finals of FA Cups, League Cup finals, Champions League finals, unfortunately just came up short. And you know, when they got rid of Mauricio Pochettino, that was a decision that would have been hard for Daniel Levy. And he obviously thought in this situation he didn't want to go back to that. And being at PSG and now he's at Chelsea. That's a different journey. And Spurs and Daniel Levy and the staff will only be looking how they can help Ange Postecoglou improve that squad. And as I say, get them up the Premier League. But I think the Premier League's getting so much harder. There's so many teams come into the equation now. You look what Newcastle do, you look what Brighton have done this season. Incredible. And that's why I say I always think the Premier League is the best league in the world, in my opinion.
I'll ask you the same question then that I asked Stephen Kelly a few minutes ago. Who got the better deal here? Chelsea getting Pochettino or Tottenham getting Postecoglou?
Well, I think only time will tell, Rob. When I keep going back to the 2014 when Maurizio came in, he was untried and trusted at this level. Yes, he had one good season at Southampton, and Postecoglou has won trophies up at Celtic. Massive football club. Let's not kid ourselves. This is Celtic. Huge Champions League. Won trophies year after year. But it's not the Premier League, in my opinion. That's just me. It's a step up. But as I say, good luck to him. He will certainly play with attacking football and scoring goals for fun. And he's certainly got the right players who can do that. Just defensively, he's going to have to probably tweak it a little bit, I do believe, just because of the opposition he's playing against in the Premier League.
Yeah, and there's the rub, is it, Michael? Can he play the football that he played at Celtic with the personnel and in the Premier League at Tottenham?
Well, Pep Guardiola does it. I know he's doing it with certainly the best players in the world, and I'm sure if you speak to Postecoglou there, all managers look up to Pep because of the way he plays, but he's got the best amenities, he's got the best players at his disposal, so Postecoglou will be looking to do that. The fans want to see forward playing football, and that's what they had. I look back to when Harry Redknapp was there, when you had Gareth Bale, Modric, players that got the fans off the seat. And Spurs have got that now. And we haven't seen it in the managers that have been in recent years. Jose didn't do it that way. Antonio Conte didn't do it in that way. But Postecoglou will. So the fans, it'll take time, like it did a few years ago. But give him that time, and I wish him luck, and hopefully it can be positive for him.
I like that. The reference to Manchester City's boss, Ange Postecoglou. I like that. We'll go with that for a while and see what happens. It's fascinating to see how this will go. The significance of a 4-year deal. Is that because both Postecoglou and Daniel Levy are suggesting maybe that to implement how he wants to play will take a little longer? And do Spurs fans have to be patient here?
I think you always have to be patient, Rob. And I always say this with any manager going into any football club. I said it with Erik ten Hag at the start of the season. Give him time, because, Spurs are probably going through a little bit of a transition at the moment. Players will be going out the door. Players will be coming in. And new managers come in. So it takes time to implement the way he wants to play, because of where they've been playing for so many years. Certainly the recent years with a back three, back five at times, out of possession, surrender up, give that to the opposition. Postecoglou won't do that. He'll be on the front foot, and when we get it, can we go and score a goal as quick as possible? So it does take time. I say that at any football club, Rob. That's just the nature of the beast. But unfortunately, in football, you don't always get that.
No, but it's fascinating to see what Tottenham fans want, or what will keep them happy. Because when Antonio Conte gave the now infamous speech at Southampton this season, Tottenham were in a top 4 position. He'd taken them into the Champions League the season before. So they were finding that success on the pitch, yet they still weren't happy with the style of play. How do you get that balance right?
Well, I think when you spoke to him probably a year ago, Robin, you'd look when the last 2 games, beating Arsenal at the Tottenham Stadium and managing to get into the Champions League, it all seemed rosy. And how it can change so quickly. And if you don't start right in the Premier League, yes, Antonio Conte left the team in 4th, and that rant at Southampton, I didn't think there was ever going to be a way back. He just, nowadays, you keep it in-house. He wasn't happy with an awful lot of things. I thought it was not great on anyone's behalf, players, clubs. So I didn't think there was any solution. But you see where they've gone since. And now it's a little bit of a rebuilding block to try and galvanise, come together. And as I say, give Ange Postecoglou time. And as I say, I wish him luck. I look forward to watching him, because I see the way Celtic play. Certainly exciting, but he will have to change it slightly in the Premier League, in my opinion.
If you include the likes of Ryan Mason and Christian Stellini, Tim Sherwood, 10 managers have come into Tottenham. He'll be the 11th without a trophy. So that's quite a stretch. Is the key here Harry Kane and his future to how this new era starts for Postecoglou at Tottenham?
Well, everyone knows what I think of Harry. I think he's an absolute genius. And for him to score 30 goals this season in a team that's struggled, he will always do that. He'll do it for as long as he plays football, because that's what he does. He works hard. His commitment, the way he conducts himself on and off the pitch, I just think he's an absolute genius. He's got a year left on his contract, and I certainly hope he stays. Only Harry can answer that, and Daniel Levy, they will sit whether he'll sign a new contract. Who knows? The new manager coming in will sit down and discuss all these terms, but I think he's so influential to that football team and the football club, and he always will be as long as he plays. Obviously for Spurs and England, you see what he does. Unbelievable. What a player.
As were you, Michael. Thank you very much indeed.